Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Megan Clova. Well, in a week already full of severe weather, Wilson County was hit hard by a tornado Thursday morning. Now, as of Thursday evening, that includes one fatality, many homes suffering damage, plus significant damage to Springfield Middle School in Lucama. Joining us now over the phone is WRAL's Chelsea Donovan, who has been there on the ground. Hi, Chelsea.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so if you could just describe the damage for us, maybe the impact of, was it the entire school or just portions of it?
Yeah, it's interesting looking on the ground here. When you look from, one part of the road, you see just destruction and damage everywhere. And then from the other side of the road, it looks like absolutely nothing went wrong. So it's interesting with Tropical Storm Debbie and this tornado that spawned up. It almost is like they targeted the 6th and 7th grade wings, with the 8th grade wing being virtually untouched. What we were able to see from Drone 5 is just massive gaping holes in some of these wings where it took the metal roofing just right off. You can see, insulation strewn about, bricks everywhere. It just doesn't look anything indicative to a classroom.
Wow, and I know that tornado came through overnight, so I'm assuming that no one was inside the school at the time. Hopefully no injuries there, right?
Yeah, the good news is school's not in session. We talked to a lot of folks that live, 100 feet away from the school. They were home taking shelter in their houses, and had this thing moved, just feet to one side or the other, their homes could have been directly in the path. But thankfully, with the school and it being summertime, this is a situation that could have been a whole lot worse.
Yeah. Thank goodness. And with that being said, school is back in session in a couple of weeks. Any word if this is going to affect that start date, or how are they going to move forward?
Yeah, it's interesting. We can see inspectors out here, people bringing AC units and portable generators, starting that process of, starting to make repairs really virtually after this thing hit. Wilson County Schools is set to go back in session on August 26th. However, it's sort of TBD on if they're going to be moved to a different school, if they're going to be using some of the wings that are, virtually untouched. That's all still in the works and still in the planning stages. It's all classrooms and hallways from what we're able to tell right now.
Okay, and, Governor Roy Cooper did visit the school as well. Did he or any other officials mention next steps besides the rebuilding process?
Yeah, so they started off talking about how the inspections are underway right now. And, one of the first things he said when I asked him what it looked like inside, because he was able to be boots on the ground inside the walls, he said it looked like an explosion. He said there was just, insulation everywhere, chairs everywhere, bricks everywhere. He said most of the school looked completely unrecognizable.
Any chance you talked to any parents or students of the school, maybe teachers as well?
Yeah, we actually ended up talking to the principal who worked here, for a solid 15 years, Marcus Fell. He came out here because he said he spent so much time in this school and he needed to see it for himself. It was really interesting. He said it was just hard to believe, but the amount of time that he spent in this, this classroom, this school, how devastating it looked to him from afar. He said the school was built in 2000. There's roughly about 500 kids that attend. He, of course, was checking in with his teachers and administrators, wondering, how they're faring, because it's going to be a bit of a long road to recovery for everybody involved. But, I think one of the things is these people are resilient. This is an area that has seen tornadoes before, and we know when the community comes together that, there will be a rapid recovery process with everybody joining in together.
All right, Chelsea, thanks so much, and please stay safe out there. Now, Raleigh also saw its fair share of severe weather on Thursday. Rain led to rising rivers, torn down trees, and, along Marsh Creek, a water rescue. WRAL's Sean Gallagher was there as 3 kids were saved.
We were taking a bike ride through the forest.
A bike ride.
And then it just took a turn.
That almost ended deadly.
It wasn't that high pressure.
Okay, got 3 children, all under the age of 12, in the middle of the creek in some very fast, swift-moving water.
After 2 of the kids got across safely, the creek surge took hold of the other 3.
We were fine one minute. We were all joking and laughing. And then the next minute, Andrew comes sliding down. Right
right as I grabbed it, the water just pulled me right away, and the branch snapped.
I thought like Evelyn fell in because I couldn't see her.
When I was hanging on to that branch, I could feel the rocks and the wood and like the spiky things just going right onto my feet, and it hurt. And I was shaking, I was really cold, and I was really scared.
Evelyn's just 8 years old. She and her friend Kelly clutched her brother while he was hanging onto a branch.
It was very scary. Evelyn was shaking a lot. We were all scared.
12-year-old Gavin called 911, and when RFD water rescue crews got here, they had the kids out of the water within 5 minutes.
Man, third child safely in the boat.
I love them so much.
Evelyn, the youngest of the bunch, acting very mature through a terrifying situation.
I was praying because I knew that God could save me.
Prayers for these families answered in the form of Raleigh's bravest.
I have a lot of emotions. I'm very relieved. I'm very happy, and I'm just very grateful that everyone's safe and we had all of these rescue members here to help us.
RFD tells me they had 3 water rescues in a matter of 90 minutes, all involving kids under the age of 13. That's why they're urging parents to let their kids know they shouldn't get in the water during or after a storm, because this was extremely close to becoming a tragedy. Sean Gallagher, WRAL News, Wake County.
Oh, just so glad they're okay. A big thanks to Sean for that story there, and thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. You can find more podcasts at WRAL.com. Just search podcast. We also have more Tropical Storm Debbie coverage up now, also on WRAL.com and our news app. Thanks for listening.